21 celebs who are surprisingly related.
Welcome to Talltanic. I'm Olivia with Hindered Thoughts, and I'll be your guest host for today. More on that later. For now, let's get into the video.
21. Elle King and Rob Schneider. The X's and O's singer Elle King is mind-bogglingly related to actor Rob Schneider. Just how, you ask? Her stage name is just Elle King, but her birth certificate reads Tanner L. Schneider. That's right, she's Rob's 28-year-old daughter. Like with several people who have members of their family established as stars, Elle didn't want to be given any special treatment because of who her father was. So she professionally changed her last name to King, as it's her mother's maiden name. And she's been going by that since she was 18. Don't worry, she bears no ill feelings towards her dad. 20. Jake Gyllenhaal and Peter Sarsgaard. Jake happens to be related to Peter Sarsgaard through marriage, as Peter is Jake's brother-in-law. Sarsgaard went on to wed Jake's sister and fellow actor Maggie Gyllenhaal in 2009. He's also an uncle to the couple's two daughters, Ramona and Gloria. The Gyllenhaal family is most known for siblings, Jake and older sister Maggie, though their parents Naomi and Steven also work in the business as producer, screenwriter, and director, respectively. 19. Daisy Lowe and Gavin Rossdale. Not even Daisy Lowe knew that she was related to Gavin Rossdale for a good portion of her life, 13 years to be exact. The model had always believed that the Bush singer was her godfather, but it turns out he was her actual father. Initially, she was led to believe that her father was a man named Bronner Handberger. Daisy's conception resulted in a one-night stand between Rossdale and Daisy's mother, Pearl. A paternity test proved he was her father after he finally agreed to take one. 18. Sofia Coppola, Jason Schwartzman, and Nicolas Cage. Born Nicholas Kim Coppola, Nicolas Cage is a part of the Coppola family that includes several family members in Hollywood. For starters, Nicolas Cage happens to be related to fellow actors Sofia Coppola and Jason Schwartzman, as all three are first cousins. Nicholas went on to change his last name from Coppola to Cage in order to avoid any nepotism in the industry, as his uncle, Sofia's father, is renowned director Francis Ford Coppola. Cage's aunt, Talia Rose Coppola, Jason Schwartzman's mother, was best known for her roles in the Rocky and Godfather franchises. 17. Steven Spielberg and Jessica Capshaw. For anyone that watches Grey's Anatomy, you'll instantly recognize Jessica Capshaw as the actress who plays Dr. Arizona Robbins on the hit show. Well, back in 1991, Jessica's mother, who happens to be actress Kate Capshaw, married director Steven Spielberg, making him her stepfather. The two met while filming Indiana Jones, as Spielberg was the director and Capshaw had a starring role. It would be 7 years later that the pair would wed, when Jessica was a mere 15 years old. She's supportive of her stepfather's work, often appearing alongside him at red carpets. 16. Jason Sudeikis and George Wendt. SNL alum Jason Sudeikis, born Daniel Jason Sudeikis, just so happens to not be the only famous person in his family tree. Through his mother, Catherine Wendt, he's related to actor George Wendt, making him his uncle. Wendt's most famous role to date was portraying Norm Peterson on the show Cheers. Sudeikis is also related to photographer Tom Howard, who is his great-grandfather. Fun fact, Sudeikis has no sense of smell, and barely any sense of taste, due to anosmia. 15. David and Kate Spade. Yes, David Spade the actor is related to Kate Spade the fashion house designer. No, the two aren't siblings, cousins, or even married for that matter. They're brother and sister-in-law. It's actually David's brother, Andy Spade, who's married to Kate. And the two ended up creating the successful brand we know today. Born Kate Brosenhan, she's also the aunt of actress Rachel Brosenhan, who's been in Beautiful Creatures and House of Cards. 14. Red Foo and Berry Gordy Jr. You might remember Red Foo from back in the day as being part of the group LMFAO, with his nephew Sky Blue. The two churned out the hits Party Rock Anthem and Sexy and I Know It to acclaimed success. Red Foo, whose real name is Stephen Kendall Gordy, can attribute his love for music thanks to his father, record executive and producer, Berry Gordy Jr., who happens to be the man that founded the successful record label Motown. 13. Lily Allen, Alfie Allen, and Sam Smith. Singer and actress Lily Allen isn't the only one in her family that's super talented and famous. She happens to be the older sister of actor Alfie Allen, who is famously recognized for his role as Theon Greyjoy in the HBO show Game of Thrones. She even wrote a song about him, before he was famous, titled Elfie. That's not all though, as the pair of siblings also happen to call Sam Smith family. The Stay With Me singer is technically their third cousin. 12. Tom Cruise and William Mapother. This one may come as a surprise. considering that Tom Cruise doesn't go by his birth name. Born Thomas Cruise Mapother IV, Cruise decided to drop his last name and opt for his middle name to serve as his new Sir. This is why no one ever makes the connection that he and William Mapother are actually first cousins. The two have not only gone on to become successful working actors, but have even starred in 5 films together. 11. Bryce Dallas Howard and Ron Howard. Ron Howard is a Hollywood actor turned director who starred on Happy Days and also directed films like The Da Vinci Code and the upcoming Solo, a Star Wars history. He also happens to be the father of fellow actress Bryce Dallas Howard, who's known for starring in the Twilight Saga and Jurassic World franchises. Ron initially didn't want his daughter to have anything to do with Hollywood until he saw she had a knack for acting. As for Bryce, she didn't want to be given any special treatment in Hollywood just for being related to her father. Number 10. Jenny McCarthy and Melissa McCarthy. Given that McCarthy happens to be a pretty common surname, you wouldn't expect that these two actresses have to be related in any way. Turns out, the two happen to be cousins. When Jenny was starting out her own career on what turned to be a short-lived sitcom, she helped older cousin Melissa get her first TV role on the same show. Jenny's married to actor Donnie Wahlberg, which makes the McCarthys related to his brother, Mark Wahlberg. 9. Rashida Jones and Quincy Jones. Actress and producer Rashida Jones has her 2 celebrity parents to thank for her talent. Her mother is actress Peggy Lipton, best known for starring in The Mod Squad and Twin Peaks. Her father happens to be renowned music producer Quincy Q. Jones, who's worked with some of the most talented musicians in the business, like Ella Fitzgerald and Frank Sinatra. Jones's older sister also happens to be an actress, as well as a model and fashion designer. 8. Drew Barrymore and Steven Spielberg. So Drew Barrymore and Steven Spielberg aren't actually related by blood or marriage, but nonetheless, the two are related. How? Well, the critically acclaimed director happens to be the actress's appointed godfather. The two would go on to form a close bond, to the point where he was more her father than her actual father. He helped get her to start in the industry by casting her in films like E.T. and Firestarter. It also helped that the young actress was part of the Barrymore family, considered as being the most prominent family of actors, spanning decades as far back as the early 1800s. 7. Al Roker and Lenny Kravitz. What does the famous weatherman and TV personality have in common with rock musician Lenny Kravitz? Oh, nothing much. Just the fact that the two are related by blood. Back in 2011, Al Roker confirmed the news was true while on the Today Show, with Lenny himself agreeing that everything checks out. Turns out Roker's grandfather is cousins with Kravitz's grandfather, Albert Roker. That means that Kravitz and Roker have the same great-great-grandfather. What are the odds? 6. Snoop Dogg, Brandy, and Ray J. Okay, so we know that Brandy and Ray J are brother and sister, but did you know the pair's related to Snoop Dogg? Snoop Lion. That's right. The famous siblings happen to be first cousins with the rapper. Just like her cousin, Brandy's a famous musician and actress who's even gone on to star in Broadway. Snoop Dogg and Brandy even worked together back in 2009 on one of his songs titled Special. Their family reunions must be pretty wild. 5. Liev Schreiber and Pablo Schreiber. Everyone knows Liev Schreiber from his performances in the horror trilogy Scream, and his current Showtime drama, Ray Donovan. But what you might not know is that he has a brother, who also happens to be an actor. Liev's younger half-brother is none other than Pablo Schreiber. The two share the same father, who is also an actor, named Ted Carroll Schreiber. Pablo can be seen sporting his character George Mendez's infamous mustache in Netflix's Orange is the New Black, and in his upcoming film, Den of Thieves. 4. Kate Hudson and Goldie Hawn. The family of actress Kate Hudson is just filled to the brim with people working in Hollywood. This, partly in thanks to her mother being Academy Award and Golden Globe winner Goldie Hawn, and her father being Bill Hudson. Her parents split when she was only a year old, and she was raised by her mother and her mother's current boyfriend, Kurt Russell. Her older brother Oliver Hudson also happens to be an actor, whose most current work was a role on Scream Queens. 3. Gwyneth Paltrow and Blythe Danner. Gwyneth Paltrow is best known for her roles in Seven, Shakespeare in Love, and as Pepper Potts in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. She's managed to establish quite the career for herself, apart from her mother being fellow actress Blythe Danner. Danner is well known not only as a stage actress, but also having a fruitful career in both television and film. She's also the mother of Jake Paltrow, who's a screenwriter and director, and the widow of former director and producer Bruce Paltrow. Number 2. Kate Middleton and the Fannings. It seems that the Duchess of Cambridge was already a royal before she married into the current royal family. Middleton's mother, Carol Goldsmith, happens to be a direct descendant of King Edward III as one of his granddaughters. Dakota and Elle Fanning happen to also be related to King Edward III as his granddaughters, which makes the two sisters cousins to the future Queen of England. Researchers from Ancestry.com looked through 700 years of historical records to make the connection. Number 1. Halle Berry and Sarah Palin. In what is definitely the most shocking revelation on this list is that Academy Award-winning actress and all-around gem Halle Berry is distantly related to Republican Sarah Palin. Berry gave the exclusive scoop back to Extra back in 2012 during an interview for her upcoming film Cloud Atlas, saying that, in some twisted way, she has family ties with the former governor of Alaska. She said that a certain someone sent her the information and was pretty shocked by the news.
Thanks for watching. If you liked that, check out more content like it on my channel, Hindered Thoughts, right over here. See you there.